The Federal Reserve has formally authorized the use of XRP for payments, and Ripple has stated that they are prepared to pay the SEC up to $10 million in order to finalize the lawsuit and reach a settlement that will permit BlackRock to buy more than $50 billion worth of XRP, in addition to the Federal Reserve to start using XRP. Additionally, this action coincides with a significant shift in the price of XRP and an impending rise that will cause it to soar to $10,000. The executive director of Vayhill Capital has actually validated this figure, stating unequivocally that XRP will be priced between $10,000 and $35,000 with widespread usage. Within the next 6 to 10 weeks, 100 XRP might literally turn you into a multimillionaire, according to numerous other analysts. Therefore, it makes perfect sense that the actual price of XRP would hit $10,000. Indeed, according to one researcher, you should maintain these XRP prices on your price charts. He begins with $13.59. The settlement announcement, $157.29. The regular exchanges of XRP real estate, $2,940.34. The Ripple IPO and bank partners, and $59,238.21 with global CBDC integration. It claims that these are fact-based. The strange part is that a couple weeks ago, an article in Forge magazine highlighted a huge announcement. XRP would be priced at more than $58,000. Guys, have a look at that. It's really bullish, and with the global acceptance of CBDC, it's pretty near to this number of $59,230.21. Now look at this. Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, also known as Joel Kaz, who is also the founder of XRP and the CTO of Ripple, has verified that Alvary Bank and institution, both in the US and outside, would utilize XRP. Before we show you any of these videos, which I believe are crazy and bullish, we must discuss Uphold. If you own even a single XRP, you should watch this video. Since Uphold is the top platform and the second largest holder of XRP, we have worked with them to provide XRP for free to everyone who watches this video. In essence, folks, if you register using my link in the description and complete a transaction, which might be for 1 penny, $1, or $10, you will receive up to $100 free to use to build up even more XRP. Once more, as part of a generous referral bonus, you can spend less than 5 minutes and practically receive up to $1 worth of XRP for free. It takes less than 5 minutes, and this is a very limited time offer. I strongly advise you to sign up, complete a transaction, and get your free money since, as I mentioned before, it's a fantastic chance that doesn't come around very often. Additionally, you may view the current prices for ERC20, XRP Ledger, and Solana on benexchange.com. Once more, all of the values are current, and they even offer utility and meme coins for the XRP Ledger. Use bankexchange.com if you want to participate in it. Having said that, let's dive straight into the video for today. Simply put, the networks upon which they are based were not intended to offer such capability. No matter what, that will occur. It goes without saying, the shipping container revolutionized the physical delivery of commodities, changing and initiating globalization. The internet revolutionized the way that information is delivered. However, we are unaware of what the TCP/IP of money is. What is the value of the shipping container? That is unknown to us yet. However, there will be one, that's for sure, and changes will result from that. Additionally, I want to make it clear that one of the changes I anticipate and believe is significant is that the size of payments will significantly decrease. It's likely that many of you here work and receive pay every 2 weeks or twice a month. But why is that? Most likely, you pay your payments once a month. But why is that? The reason for this is that payments are cumbersome and costly. However, if payments were easy and inexpensive, those frequencies might increase. While you're working, money may be beamed at you. To cover the cost of our accommodations, you could send money to your landlord. You know how those sound. I'll be honest, they sound stupid. Indeed, they are. And I'll give you an example. If we were discussing email in the late 1990s, and you asked me what people would use it for, I doubt I could have provided you with examples. Everyone in this room probably has a cell phone, which most likely has email on it, and hundreds of messages that don't resemble postal mail or the messaging that was used in the late 1990s. I couldn't have predicted any of that. In 2000, if you had asked me if I thought the internet had adequate bandwidth, I would have said that it did. Could I have envisioned on-demand video and Netflix? That is absurd, isn't it? For example, bandwidth is too expensive for that. However, the cost of bandwidth was reduced to nothing by the internet, and the world will alter if the cost of payments is reduced to zero. The SEC will ultimately receive $50 million. $50 million will be given to the U.S. government. Even the possibility of making something available in XRP was discussed. Ripple is another that you enjoy. You mentioned that it's the coin to watch at the moment. Of course. Why? All right. In fact, before the SEC looked into them, Ripple was the second biggest coin. A strange lawsuit was filed against them. Furthermore, the Ripple will essentially serve as the track on which everything will run in the future. As a result, they have now produced their own stable coin. Additionally, as I have stated, Bank of America handled all of its internal transactions. It is covered by 83 separate patents. Additionally, several amazing things will be released. Ripple is another one you like, and I told David about something else backstage. You know, I was discussing our main product, fiat to fiat, dubbed X-Current, with one of the biggest global money center banks on the planet, and I'm kind of interrupted by this man. Yeah, that's nice, he says. However, I'm having trouble adjusting to Peru. Can I settle into Peru with the help of XRP? And to be honest, I thought, holy shastraskut. For example, one of the largest banks in the world has more liquidity than practically everyone else. Furthermore, I'm not even attempting to discuss cryptocurrency and digital assets with him. I'm attempting to discuss with him the fundamentals of fiat to fiat, and he's already anticipating the future and understanding that this is something that can assist me in proving it and solving an issue. I don't want to state that the whole currency has improved from the perspective of inflation, or regulatory risk or compliance risk. They are therefore searching for alternative options. And once more, it will succeed if you solve a real problem for actual clients. Amazing. Thus, Bank of America has also taken a stance in favor of it. Listen to this now. The FedNow payment system will actually be replaced by the Ripple system and the XRP cryptocurrency, which will also become a separate bank that the federal government uses. We've been discussing this for a while, guys, and it's really starting to take shape right before our eyes. You really heard Nirmal Eclipse, the CEO of Ripple, announce that the company will be providing the SEC $50 million in addition to $50 million to the government of the net states. What do you suppose the reason is? The Federal Reserve of the United States of America is collaborating with them. Additionally, this picture will essentially demonstrate how the system will operate. Banks in the United States, as well as almost every other bank in the world, including those in Japan, Brazil, Europe, and Korea, will essentially use XRP for transactions and transfers. It will therefore be rather simple. You can transfer money concurrently at very little or no cost from one Mexican bank to another Mexican bank, or from a Mexican bank to a European bank. As we previously stated, the United States of America started to permit banks to use XRP after Ripple Labs won a resounding victory and declared XRP to be a non-security. In fact, Jelling has moved to the position of CEO at Ripple, who has verified that more than 100 institutions have already joined XRP and begun the process of conducting transactions, with XRP transactions in particular surpassing SWIFT internationally. As we discuss XRP, let's move on.